Hey folks, thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of YOMO. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. Today we are doing Reflection 235, and it's about a book it's unknown to me, so I guess I will let Chris introduce it. Taking a break from one of our installments of the top 5 books.
Yeah, this was one of those books I finished in between when I was writing. So I was writing those top 5 reflections. I'd finish a book and then I'd go back to write the reflections until I finished another book. And I would write that reflection, then I would go back and, so it's like scattered through the next little section of this book as I was working through the last kind of top 5 reflections. But
this one spices into the mix, right?
Exactly, because it's always learning and always reading, right? And this particular book was kind of interesting. I don't even know how I came across it. I honestly can't remember. It was called Amusing Ourselves to Death, Public Discourse in the Age of Show Business by Neil Postman. This book was written in 1985, and it was about a deep dive into the effects of television on our politics and public discourse. This was mainly focused around television, honestly, and it was called Amusing Ourselves to Death. It was interesting. So I guess this Neil Postman guy is pretty famous. I don't know. I think this book is kind of famous, non-traditional famous kind of way. I think because it was the public discourse that it sparked around the concepts that it talked about in it. And yeah, it wasn't long. Talked a lot about the power of books, and we've talked about the power of books before and why the written word is so much more powerful than a lot of times than television and the spoken word, and in terms of shaping the narrative and then how you consume it. Like video is so fast. It's only getting faster. It's like now we consume TikTok videos in 10 seconds or less, right? Next video. That's just how the world is today. But even when he wrote this, it was 1985. I was kind of blown away because as I started off this, I was like, holy shit, this was written in 1985 about television. It's only escalated. It felt like he was writing the book in 2022 because it's like, we are literally amusing ourselves to death at this point in time. And that's what this made me spark the thought of I'm done with the news. It goes everywhere that I go. I've done multiple monthly challenges on keeping it away from me and, setting limits on it and whatever. But I can't remember the last time that I was separated from my phone for a long period of time. The only times these days that I can think of that I'm never near my phone is when I'm playing tennis. And it's just in my bag and I don't think about it. It could be on another island for all I care. It's not that I'm thinking about my phone. I just don't know where I don't really care where it is. I don't see it. I don't look at it. I don't have any desire to even, have it in my orbit. But I am definitely, I don't know about you. Like, would you call yourself a phone addict? Is it always near you? When was the last time you weren't around yours?
I always have my phone with me, but I wouldn't call myself a phone addict because I don't have to have it. But for me, it's like, it's not like, something that is going to enslave me. And that's the thing is, we would say, hey, you should stay away from the phone. And my question is, why?
No, I don't think you should stay away from the phone. Here, let me finish the reflection. I'm not saying the phone's bad. I love it because I get to listen to my audiobooks. I take notes on it. It's what you do on your phone, obviously. This is all about distraction, though, right? We talked about this with Bob.
Yeah, it's about utility versus entertainment.
Exactly.
Passing the time. To me, it's a lot of times like if you are so bored with your life that you need to be on your phone to be occupied, then this is the problem. Because the thing is, I don't do shit, right? If you look at my life is like as boring, as monotonous as like that. My wife say I'm boring, my kids say I'm boring. I don't do anything, I don't go anywhere. But I don't have the games on my phone. I don't do anything on my phone other than okay,
right.
I have like, I don't know, I have like 10 different alarms so that I can, pick up my kids or whatever. So I don't have to think about it. I don't want to remember it, so it's basically my assistant. But at the same time, I don't need my assistant. I just say, well, I should have it if there is there is, it's there, right? Just like for people in the medieval age, right? Everybody carries a sword, right? Doesn't mean you're using it, but it's a utility. It's a tool.
Right.
It's a tool for you to use. It's not your master that, hey, you are supposed to pay your attention to it.
Right.
It pays attention to me. So to me, that's what I'm saying is, I don't see, for me, when I see a lot of people like, the big names like Mark Benioff or whatever go on vacation and then I taking his phone, that's stupid. I don't care how much money he makes. that is stupid decision in that own right. Because
Right.
the thing is, I don't care, right? It is up to you. If someone calls you, it is up to you to pick it up.
Right.
It is for your convenience, and that's for convenience of the caller. So when people call me, right? If I want to talk to you, I'll pick up. If I don't, you have to wait. I
Yep.
don't effing care. So to me, the phone isn't gonna drive me. I don't pick up the phone. I don't run for the phone. I don't run for a train, nor run for the phone. It is for my convenience. And I think if you can put it that way, I think the perspective makes a whole lot of difference. There's a lot of things I've struggled with. There's a lot of things I just don't struggle with. It's because I have come to understand or see how it is supposed to interact with it. And the other things that I'm struggling with, I could not understand it yet. So I'm struggling because it's about indecision. Just like the
Right.
marshmallow test, right? Indecisions, it makes you miserable. So for me, it's like the phone, I have it all the time because it's my assistant. You can ask for my phone and I'll give to you. There's nothing on it.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean and that's totally fair. I'm not getting to say that I'm like, a slave to my phone, but at the same
I
time,
have
like
Facebook and my wife forces me to have it on there.
nice.
Account because my sister made it for me back in 2000 and it's still there. I made a Twitter account a long, long time ago. I don't even know how to access it. I was trying to see if I can get some vanity URL, whatever, just because it's there. But like I say, I don't enjoy getting on the phone for these reasons. A lot of times I go on to Facebook and I find myself like, either because whenever I go on Facebook, it makes me feel bad.
Yeah. Well, now these days, whenever you get on Facebook, it's just filled with ads. I barely ever get on Facebook these days because I accidentally hid the app on my phone. And for my generation, we grew up with Facebook. Like literally, I think Mark Zuckerberg's the exact same age as me, and it was invented when I was in college. Like we were the test dummies, for Facebook. I think the school that I went to was one of the first like 10 schools that it expanded to outside of Harvard kind of thing. Like, I mean, we used it and we used it for the utility that it was originally built for. And it was a part of our digital world quickly for everybody in my generation or my age group. So like it was a way for us to all stay connected and everything. I've always found value in Facebook, honestly.
Agree though. I mean, it has its value, its utility, but it also has its addiction. And
Oh
I
yeah,
think
for
the
sure.
addiction
Yeah.
comes from when
It gets
you don't have the, who I am kind of identity.
Well,
This
yeah,
is
here,
what
let me finish the reflection first so we can talk about it. Because that's kind of what it is, right? These days, while I may have my shortcomings around how I leverage this tool, I have my little round that I go through of CNN, Fox News. I watch them both on television, and ESPN, Yahoo News, and my Purdue fan rival site. Those are probably the only websites that I ever go to. It's really just my Purdue fan blog website, ESPN, and Yahoo News. Probably the only websites that I go to. For social media, it's like Facebook, and I don't do Instagram or anything like that. I rarely get on TikTok, but it's really probably Facebook and sometimes those Facebook Reels that are also the same thing as TikTok Reels. If I'm not doing living for two activities and I'm not doing anything else, chances are that I probably have my phone in my hand and I'm either on Yahoo News, ESPN, my Purdue fan blog, or I'm paying my dues, right? But the good news is that these days, so much of my time is spent on my purpose and living for two activities that I don't feel like this is a black hole for me necessarily, versus like maybe earlier on or before I met Amelia, because any downtime I would find myself doing this kind of stuff, right? But now it's like I have such little downtime that I'm kind of just like, you know what, like I'll just go indulge a little bit, but it definitely is an addiction. But here's the thing that troubles me the most. Talk about public discourse, and how this stuff shapes it. I mean, even stupid shit. I find myself every time on Yahoo, when I'm on there, Yahoo News, which is like a couple times a day or something like that, when I get bored or whatever, and I hit Yahoo on my browser on my phone, there's always some stupid article about Kim Kardashian or Khloe Kardashian or Kendall or Kylie, and they know it. Like their algorithms know it. Like I don't watch the show. I watched the show like, maybe back in like 2010 or something like that.
what
Like
show?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like
Oh, it's a
15,
show.
10, yeah, that was what I mean. That was how they all got famous. Was
Okay, I thought they
watching
got famous because of OJ.
Well, their dad was a trial lawyer for OJ, and he
That's
passed.
what
And then the mom married Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner.
I
Bruce
mean.
Jenner is a former Olympic gold medal triathlete from the '70s. He was like
Oh,
a
really?
major like heartthrob, kind of person. And Robert Kardashian, the guy that was OJ's lawyer, his ex-wife married Bruce Jenner. who is now a transgender woman named Caitlyn Jenner. Their families were like a blended family that came together, and then they had 2 other kids themselves. So anyway, they have this big mismatched family that all came together. They just know how to, like, get your attention on these things. Anyway, so but after reading this particular book, the thing that made me feel most sad about this stuff is whenever I find myself doing those things, now I start to think about, like, what could I be doing living for 2, or what could I be doing for, meaningful work with stuff that we're trying to do for Clubany, or what could I be doing differently that has nothing to do with this completely mind-numbing bullshit of, seeing my friends' birthday parties that they put on for their kids that I didn't go to, or their latest trip or whatever on Facebook, or Kim Kardashian, like got a Botox injection or something like that, like, why the fuck do I give a shit about any of those things? To be honest with you, all it does is just take me away from the things that really matter to me. And that's what probably bothers me the most, and how we all interact with each other. It really drives me crazy, and it really takes away your own control for your own life. So after reading this book, I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm done with the news. That was the title. And I used my monthly challenge immediately for that was coming up after this ended, to try to limit myself to 10 minutes a day, like of news. Like, I was like, I don't want, like, so whether it was social media, TV, the internet, whatever, I was like, I'm getting 10 minutes of the news, because it's nothing but bullshit every single time that I go on there. Like, it never, ever, ever makes me feel better. It always just is like mind numbing. But somehow I find myself in these rabbit holes of, like, clicking on the next clickbait article that's like, that I learned absolutely nothing from, that applies to nothing with my life. So I did that. Gosh, that was a while ago. This is back in the summertime, and it was actually pretty fucking hard. I would put a timer on my phone, and I would be like, from like 8 to 8:10, like, that's what I get today, to, like, it was like speed demoning through it. I was like, okay, Yahoo, done, done, okay, done. Okay, my pretty blog, done, Facebook, shoot, done. It was really kind of funny, because then the alarm would go off, and I'm like, oh. It was kind of funny, actually.
I think you're just torturing yourself.
But the pop culture, the public discourse, it was interesting to do. It was funny. So actually, I think I might try this again, maybe next month, and to do like a full-on no social media at all, other than like LinkedIn, because I kind of have to be on LinkedIn for work stuff. But beyond that, like, I was thinking about maybe revising this again. Anyway, so that now we can talk about whatever we're going to talk about with when it comes to amusing ourselves to death, and how toxic the news is, and whatever else you want to talk about. That's fine now. But yeah, so the moral of the story was, this shit takes you away from your purpose. And what takes me away from my purpose now angers me. Like, I mean, it really pisses me off. It just makes me think about all the things that I could be doing. So like this stuff's got to go. I don't want it. I don't want it in my life, and it's got to go.
I mean, it's for whatever reason, these spurts of news. I think we as human beings are wired for changes and for news. That's why news in the African Sahara Desert, when you see a rustling bush or you hear something rustling, you pay attention, because it's news. And news is wired into our brains, and these things become something that I guess people take advantage of.
These tech companies literally have clinical psychologists trained on their staff to figure out how to maximize dopamine intake for their never-ending scroll feeds, and
It's like
auto refresh, and
it's like, I get the food we have today. It has a lot of calories, but empty nutrients. It's empty. So it's the media today is a similar way. It gets you to be interested, but there's nothing substantial in it. And so you get nothing out of it.
You get less than nothing. You get negative.
But like I said, most of the thing for me, you're getting pissed.
Yeah. I mean, I get infuriated whenever you go on, like, you go watch CNN for 5 minutes, and it's like the world.
I'm fanatic for football. For whatever reason, I immerse myself in it, and that just makes me feel positive in a way. So I love the Texans, and this year the Texans has number 2 and number 12 pick. Every time I open up my Edge browser, this Edge browser has a bunch of news on it, and it would say Texans want to draft Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or
click on it.
A bunch. I mean, it's like, and it's like you click on these things, and it's a bunch of like, oh, should they do this? Should they do it? But it's just a bunch of clickbaits. It's nothing in it. I mean, that's not. It's like, oh. They say, they will trade for this, or we'll get DeAndre Hopkins back, blah, blah. Like, you click on it, it just maybe like a short paragraph. I'll say, maybe they should do that. So there's nothing in the article. The article is like less than like a paragraph long. And this is what they call the mainstream news. And these are called like professional. And they're fucking clickbaits all over the place. There's
do you
nothing
remember?
on there that is not clickbait. Even the news from the Texans, in the Texans website,
Right,
some of them are clickbait too. It's like, look, you don't make money from clickbait. You make money from playing football and selling merchandise. So sell the fucking merchandise. I'll buy the merchandise.
right.
Just give me like, okay, we have this plan and we're gonna draft. We build organizations and whatever. So I'm passionate about football, but the thing is, these things is just driving me like angry. It's like,
Right.
what the hell?
And it takes you away from other stuff you actually want to do that aligns to your life.
Football aligns with my life, and I would willing to pay attention and money and other resources into football because it gives me the
Yeah,
euphoria of feelings, right? So for me, football is something that I'm really interested in. But even for that, the media is actually causing me to be discouraged, even about
100%.
reading them. So the only thing I do nowadays, I just watch the games. I don't watch anything else. I don't watch any commentary either because even the live video commentaries are a bunch of clickbaits and a bunch of professional, like psychological
Analyst.
puppet handlers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they do. It's just to try to grab your attention, whether it's on a piece of media, or it's on Facebook or on TV, even in that's like the commonplace now. And to me, that's just sad. And if you are completely lost, how do you tell something that is going to eating away your life, your time, and resources versus something that's important to you? How would you distinguish that?
You
You and
can't.
I had so much
They're the
training
same.
so far, and
Well,
even then, you and I go get sucked into some of these sometimes.
it's if anything, you start to think that these are important things. You start to argue with your friends at the dinner table about Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton versus whatever. Who gives a fuck? Like honestly, I don't give a shit who our president is.
And
Has it ever changed
most of them
anybody?
are like, most of them are just made up.
It is.
No one has a
It's all
fucking
smoke
clue
and
what's
mirrors.
going
Like
on. Somebody just say something about somebody accuse somebody of
right.
something, and that's what you're talking about. And you take
It's just
sides. Oh, he did that or she did that. Well, that's a lot of hearsay, even though it may have
it's
some
just
some
tribalism for
coincidence, but
tribalism's sake.
it's just hearsay. There's no proving it yet, so you cannot do that. But that's what people do. They take side and they willing to go and fight people for it. Go march on people's houses
Yeah. I
and
mean,
and like you talking about family members, like they're talking about like the whole
people
like
hate each other. I mean,
people
there's like
in the family, like a cousin will hate a brother will hate
right.
aunt.
So many
Stop
friends.
talking
Yes,
to each other for this from within their own fucking family.
there's people that divorce each other over crap like this. You let like this kind of crap distract you from the things that really matter to your life. And to be crystal clear, like I'm not blaming anybody. Like it is hard to, like you just said, we do this stuff every single day and we understand what we want to try to do and we struggle with it. Everybody struggles with it. I mean, it's there for a reason. It was designed to do this exact stuff. But there's two things that come to mind about this book that I really liked. It's just another reason why Nassim Taleb talks about this stuff all the time about ancient wisdom, right? The things that are old, like books are fucking old. There's something about the consumption of a book that is so radically different than any other form of media that we have because it's long form, right? I mean, you have to take the time to digest it and to immerse yourself in that person's thoughts, build a relationship almost through the words. And if you're writing it, you have to craft those words and always be impeccable with your words. So that's and nobody, there's no ads or anything like that. There's no you're paid for it. You own it. Like, when you decide to purchase a book or something like that, free give to get. It's like, hey, look, I want to listen to you. I'm going to spend my time with you. I'm going to pay for that. Right. And I'm going to acquire that knowledge and I'm going to then sit in a chair and listen to it because I want to listen to it or not. Like if I decide I don't want to read it, I'm just going to turn it off. It's like it's going to pop up and shove it in my face like it's some magical book. It's like read page 3 and you're going to be, oh, fine. If you don't like it, just put it down. It's not like some app ding that's going to go on your phone or whatever. It's like, hey, come back. I know you didn't like the last round, but let's try it again. We'll change the book here. It is what it is. So we can, if you want to, we can talk about that because I think that's pretty fascinating, honestly. It's like what's always worked is written and spoken word, right? But television and now social media has just changed the game completely in terms of how we consume media. And it's disgusting, like what it's doing to us because it's like it's triggering it knows they know our elephant better than we know our elephants,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
mean,
like
they study
right.
psychology, and they use psychological tricks on us all the time. Not just the ones that, like, they use all of the arsenal to make you into a puppet. You're basically a zombie. You do what they want
You're
you to
doing
do.
what they want.
You vote however they want you to vote. You will fight for whatever they want. You will die for whatever they want you to die for. You will pay taxes into whatever they want you to pay. This is the power. That's why Facebook is coveted by a lot of organizations and a lot of government entities. That's
Yeah.
why these social media that has a huge potential. That's why they attempt to ban TikToks because well, I can't control TikTok. I'm not gonna let someone else control my thing, right? So that's the
Jesus,
thing
yeah,
is we are
a
being
shit show.
controlled and we don't know. We don't know it. That's
Well, I think we do know it, but we don't know how to stop it. Like,
well,
you know, and
we in general don't know because if you think that I lied to you, right? But I never admitted to you. You say, well, even though you know for sure, but you don't know for sure. So the
Yeah.
thing is, we say, well, Facebook is bad, but I don't know. Just like for me, is I kind of know caffeine was bad for me in my late 20s, and that's what people told me. Caffeine was bad, and I tried to quit. It didn't work
Right.
because I didn't.
Well, you didn't believe it. You didn't believe it, is what you didn't.
Yeah, so
do.
it's,
I
so
mean,
that's
I
what I'm
said it in the statement already. I was like, I don't think Facebook's that bad. So that's why I keep going back.
exactly.
I thought it was
We
like
think
cigarette smoking. I
social
would stop
media
it.
is bad, even though we admit it some of the time. But
Yeah.
deep down, we're not really 100%
No,
sure.
I get value. Like I said, I get value out of it. Love
That's why
my friends and
we
family's
don't
lives.
know. We
But
don't know we're being played.
I agree.
It's called bait.
It is.
Mouse go to a trap because of the cheese. Well,
I mean,
it's
this
bait.
whole
And so
conversation.
you saying, hey, Facebook has some of the time it's useful. Yeah, it's bait.
Right. I mean, this whole conversation is, values and leveraging values. So like they definitely provide value. I mean, like Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Yahoo News, ESPN. I mean, they go to great lengths to provide value.
This is what you call the. So the thing is, when you have a bait and bait and switch, right? That means you have to put out some initial amount of benefits to grab somebody and to get the other trade. The trade-off is much bigger. So the ratio isn't balanced, isn't equal. And so this is particularly a bait, right? When you have bait, you have to provide, the actual food on a mouse trap for the mouse to come. And so if you don't have any value, so you say, well,
do you think they started these platforms because of that, like with that in mind, or do you think they started them because they truly wanted? I don't think they started Facebook because I don't think they had any idea how they were going to monetize it when they first started Facebook, to be honest with you. Maybe they did, I don't know, ads, but like, do you think that's like, I know that's what they do now. Like, I mean, there's no other industry in the world that calls their customers users other than like maybe the,
drugs,
fucking drugs users, like you're a
drugs
drug
are
user,
users.
right. Yeah. Maybe tobacco users, or something like that. Like they're addicted. Like, I mean, like no other industry calls their customers users, like what's your user acquisition cost? What's your user growth rate?
I mean,
the active users,
before the advent of the internet, when you're talking about user acquisition costs, right? You mean the thing is people will
like drugs,
we look at you like, hey, what kind of evil person are you?
Right. What are you talking about?
User acquisition. And now it's like commonplace. Oh, user acquisition. Everybody's talking about user, and everything.
What's my daily active user metrics? Is my daily active users growing or not?
Are they using more? Are they using more? Are they using less?
Right.
We want them to use more. We want them to be addicted to the platforms or app or company or whatever. I mean, people are trying to put up all this kind of like, let's say you're like Coca-Cola or you're Nike or you're,
Were you about to say Umbro?
What was it?
Adidas?
Under Armour.
Oh.
What is Umbro?
You don't remember Umbro? Umbro was, I think Adidas bought them. They were.
I remember.
Yeah. They were like soccer clothes, where they had the Umbro.
Yeah, I think I had Umbro when I was playing soccer in high school. I remember that short right there.
Yeah.
So these companies, they have to compete to stay on top of the top awareness of the population. So they're competing and they're putting millions of dollars into having a social media presence and doing video skits and this and that. Everybody is trying to spiral us out of our time and resources because there's no other way to compete. And so the thing is, most people who does advertising on Facebook and whatever, right? Most of the people that actually click on your stuff aren't really the target users. They're probably like somebody who's watching some video or some whatever, and it's just on there. And so it's just a massive waste of human attentions.
That's the whole industry I'm in, is personalizing the digital ad experience and the connected journeys and making sure that they're getting relevant content at the relevant time to be able to make sure that they're maximizing their attention with you. I mean, that's the world that I work in. This is what I do every day, and it's fucking filthy.
Think about it. You are even worse than the what you call the drug dealers.
Drug dealers, yeah.
Yes,
Because
you're worse because
you're doing good. Like,
yeah, you. I mean, the thing is, you are in this. The thing is, drug costs money, okay?
Right.
But let me ask you, what do you think is the most precious commodity?
Attention,
Time.
and
It's
attention.
your time.
Yeah.
I mean, how much if you're like Steve Jobs and you're like super rich? How much would you say? Well, I wish somebody give me a year. How much will he willing to pay for that? And when you like get to the point where like my age, like that's why I don't do some of these things, because I get to the point where there's so many things I want to do, and I know I have less time than I think I expect to have, and then
Right.
I don't actually do some of these things because that's my attention has shifted. But the thing is, to me, time, it is so valuable. When you get to the point like you're almost there. I mean, you're 30 something, you're almost there. It gets to the point where at certain point in your life, at just certain phases of your life, you're gonna look at time and you're gonna say, well, my time is valuable. I ain't gonna give it away for free even for a minute. So if somebody asks
Yeah. No, I
me,
agree.
hey, can I have a minute? I say, well, is it
No.
worth it? Before
Right,
it's
yeah.
like, okay,
What do you-
give me an hour. Okay, I'll give you an hour. I'll
Right.
give you for free, right? But now you ask me to give you a minute, give you 5 minutes. I say no. I don't have all the time, and I can't
Right.
get it back if I give it to you. And people always say, "How 5 minutes? What's gonna give you in 5 minutes?" Yeah, well, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree
they
with
don't
you.
look. Go ask somebody who's 80 fucking years old and ask him, okay, is time valuable to him or her?
Yeah, I mean,
That's
like,
what I'm saying. You should not have wasted it in your younger years.
right. I mean, I think that's kind of what I was getting at with this reflection, is like, I don't think that I'm wasting my time anymore, but I know that, hell, like the perfect example of this could be, instead of, I wake up in the morning, I have a bad habit of, I jump on my phone, I usually go check Yahoo, my Purdue blog, and my ESPN while I'm sitting there in my bed while I'm kind of just waking up, just mindlessly scrolling. Then I turn on my Darren Daily video, and I listen to my Darren Daily video, and then I go get ready for the day. Then I go upstairs and I write, and then I go read my other reflective writing book, and then I write about that. I spend probably 15, 20 minutes just scrolling through, sometimes I'll jump on it's like Facebook or something like that early in the morning if I'm just trying to wake up still. But the first 10 to 15 minutes of my day are spent that way. I think about, like, that's one of my prime thinking times and most cherished times of the day. One of my challenges I did one month was,
You overpay for something, right? Just
right,
like
yeah,
I say, hey, I have this cup here, and you give me $1 million for it, right? Basically, you're overpaying for it, because when you first wake up, that is your most optimal time when you are completely from that resting state, right? Your mind is so much.
yep,
I guess they more sensitive in terms of the way they think. It's fluid.
right,
Your mind's a fluid at that moment, and so you can solve a lot of problems at that
right.
moment so easily, getting any value out of it.
I hate it. And the only reason that I find myself even on my phone is I have to go turn my alarm off, and then I grab my phone to turn my alarm off, and then I'm sitting there with my phone in my hand, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'm here. It's like this magical little time warp that you just find yourself in. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, it's in my hand. Oh, I'm on it. Oh, there it goes. And then it's like 15 minutes later, I finally go, what am I doing? I'm like, it's like this every day. It's like stop, just
Some
get up.
people stay
Like,
there for
no,
you're doing 15 minutes. You're doing really, really good. Some people
but
spend
I'm
hours on them. I'm not talking about like 2 hours.
right.
I'm talking about like 4 hours, 6 hours, eight
Oh,
hours, like
all
nonstop,
day. Yep.
right? If they didn't have to go to work, right, they would not get off of it.
Do you know, like, they send you out like your usage data at the end of every month kind of thing, and or every week or whatever, of like how much time you spend on certain things? I always think it's like, well, I'm on Audible at least like 2 to 3 hours a day. I feel like it's gotta be one of the top things that I'm doing. It's not even close. It's not like email, text message, social
Yeah.
media combined. It's not like I'm on social media all the time or something like that, but like all of them maybe combined. Audible is like my fifth most used app.
The thing is, for Slack and for some emails, this is something that it's work related, and then I think that's you can't help it, but you have to
Yeah, but
use.
it's still an attention suck. I mean, do you know how many times I'm on a run with my phone? Siri kicks in. I don't know how my settings set like this, but it's only for Slack. Everything else is turned off, like, muted, like I mute all notifications and stuff like that. But I always have my earbuds in, or my AirPods in or whatever when I'm running and I'm listening to an audiobook, and Amelia and I are in cruise control. And then I hear this dun dun from Slack. True when is saying blah 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 blah, and I'm like, stop it!
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
No, I know it's not you. It's one of like my
I would have
employees,
never do that.
my coworkers, and I'm like banging my ear. I'm like, stop it! Turn it up! And then finally, like, I mean, it's been doing this for. I couldn't figure out how to finally turn it off. Finally, I figured it out like last week or something like that. But it's been like a year and a half of this where I'm like it's been ever since I've gotten this new phone. It's only when somebody slacks me, and I'm like, and it just totally like I'll sometimes I'll even be like on a treadmill, like, I try to run outside every day, but like if it's shitty weather and my phone's just sitting there, like I have to like literally turn if my phone's facing me like this, like on the treadmill, like, up there, because I'm like, I don't know, listening to music, or I'm listening to an audiobook or whatever it may be, or like, whatever it is, right? And I'm just looking at I just have my phone there, like 50 notifications will pop up on it while I'm in the middle of a run, and every single time it's like, God, like you can't even get, it's just like a flash of light, and you're like, you naturally just go like this, and I'm like, eventually I chuck it across the room, and I'm like, I can't have you anywhere near me. I cannot focus. Like it's like this,
We are trained for it. We are trained for that, because, like, for example, if I text you, right, you want to respond because you are trained for that. I trained myself to be this complete jerk, right? I don't give a shit. I respond to you. I respond to you what I feel like I respond to you. And you know me. You text me like, I think if you text me something, if I don't know what to say, I'm not going to say anything. You text me a lot of time, and if I say, well, I don't know what to say, so I don't say anything. Doesn't mean I didn't get it. And sometimes I reply, and sometimes I do, because I say, yeah, something I have to say. I can say something, or I want to say, I say it, but sometimes I don't, right? You know me. I've done that. Like I said, to me, it's like, I think you do much better than most people, because a lot of times people actually open up emails, and they have these emails that I have to reply to. Right? It's a time suck, and it's just a waste of time.
I'm not even joking.
At least when you look at Yahoo, right, there's nothing for you to respond to. But when you look at the Slacks or the emails, like, okay, people ask this. I mean, it's like, they just went downhill, like just a big, gigantic drop. Like
it's once you start responding to messages, like, actually, I'm actually really proud of myself in this regard. Like I don't use email hardly at all anymore. Like, unless it's like my personal email or something like that. If somebody at work emails me, I'm like, just send me a Slack message. I don't, like, because I don't want, like, I don't even look at my email anymore. Like, I mean, it's literally maybe at the end of the day, I'll go, oh, is there anything like super important on there? Like, because if it's important, usually I just say, just send me a Slack
or
message,
emails. I go whenever I get my everything ready, right? I have my routine in the morning. Whenever I get to my desk and I sit down, right, and then I open the email, then I'll reply to you. I ain't gonna reply to you or anyone, regardless of what it is. If you have an emergency, right, text me, say, hey, emergency, then I'll probably text. But then it's like somebody would call me, like, I won't, just call me like 3 times. I'll pick it up the 3rd time.
I was telling my team,
like, I can be in the meeting, and I'll say, hey, I have something important, I'm gonna pick it up. Just call me 3 times.
I was just talking to my team about this actually the other day. I was like, people have been trained to not answer their phones. Anytime you see a number that you don't recognize, like, all of us have been trained, with phone scams and telemarketers and whatever, where you're like, oh, I'm not answering that. But if you call twice, I'll probably 90% of the time answer that. If you call right back to back twice in a row,
would you have to call me in a span of like 15 seconds.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, it's like double dial or triple dial, like multiple times in a row, and finally somebody will be like, "Oh, this person, I don't know who this number is." But
I mean, like you're frantically trying to get to me. Then I'll, because the thing is, I was in a meeting today, and my sister-in-law was calling me. I didn't want to answer, so I just exit out. She called me again, and so, okay, fine. You call me 3 times in 15 seconds. I'll pick up. Exactly. It was at my front door.
See, this is exactly my point, right? Like, the other thing, so this all came up because we use this LinkedIn campaign, automation tool called Duck Soup to automate connection requests and follow-ups. Well, Duck Soup started glitching one day when one of my employees was running a campaign on it, and it sent the same message that was supposed to be triggered after they connected 17 times in a row. Like, so it was 17 times, and it did this to like like a lot of people that she had, that she had been like connecting with, and like, it's supposed to be triggering just one message immediately afterwards, and it was just glitching, and a couple people responded to her, and I was like, you know what?
That's
You
no approach.
you should probably just trigger it to trigger like on purpose, like
I'm-
6 different of the same messages, like immediately one after the other, after the other, after the other, and
and then get their attention to say you're
trigger a
sorry.
fourth one. The last one to say yes. The last one you should trigger your own automated message to say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know how the hell that just happened. I'm so sorry." Like, but either way, it would be. I guarantee, I mean, like we're all trained to, it's like we got to break the patterns, right? Like in the patterns that we do all day long.
We are all trained for that. That's what I'm saying is,
Right.
and for social media or whatever, we are trained to reply. We're trained to pay attention to some of these things.
Right.
You don't have another set of training. You cannot distinguish between
what you think is important and what's really important.
Right. Because looking at the news isn't important because it has nothing. It doesn't
It's the
give you
least
any.
important thing you can do. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, back in the days, like having news was important because you want to know, hey, oh, the city has changed some policy, and you need to watch out for this or watch out for that. That's to give you something good
True.
to use. Those are, newsworthy. But now it's a bunch of clickbait that talk about nothing. There's nothing in it. It doesn't matter what it is. There's nothing in the news, and like 99.99% of them are completely trash.
It's total garbage. Like, and even like most of the time now, it's just opinion. Like you watch,
And then the thing is, one other thing that gets me even more is that some of these articles allow for comments and discussion, regardless of what kind of news it is. Somebody's gonna have some nasty thing to say about, even though he didn't even read a fucking article.
Yeah.
Right. It's like completely like brainless.
I got
some comment on completely off topic of what the fuck does he come from? And then you get these trolls that come in and we berate everybody. Not they don't talk about the article, but talk about the person who talking about the person who talking about the person, right?
Right.
And then sometimes you have these advertise, like these what you call those? They go in and they will
the bots
advertise their own.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? And so it's not worth it. That's for me is every time I happen to stumble onto some of these things, I completely like get so fed up, and I just get mad and get out. That's what I'm saying is I like the Texans, right? And I want to be able to know what they're doing, and I want to be happy if we can, they hired DeMarco Ryans as a coach from 49ers. So, I said, well, yeah, this guy's pretty good. He's not an idiot like some other coaches that they've hired before. And at least they give these guys some kind of leeway to do some stuff. So maybe it's something positive and exciting. And I kind of trying to want to follow, but then it gets me to the point where I'm just completely mad. So might as well just wait for the draft to come and then say, okay, just watch the draft.
Yeah, I mean, you're so
right. I think, I think I'd probably be better off getting news from Madden, the game, and then to get it from the news outlet. Okay, I can just buy Madden. All the stats and everything else is actually put into the game, and they come out right at the preseason, but right before preseason starts. And so I might just go with that route instead, because I keep getting mad every time. The thing is, right now I'm using Edge, right, which is a browser, and that Edge has this homepage that's automatic set up already. I didn't want to bother changing the homepage, but
I don't know what is Edge.
Edge is like Internet Explorer.
I've never heard of it.
Right, they replaced Internet Explorer with Edge.
Oh.
So it comes with Windows 10 and Windows 11. I have Windows 11, and that's the one I'm using. But they have this homepage. It's a bunch of news with different things and advertisement all together. But I'm only interested in the sports, the Texans specifically. I don't care about other ones. But that gets me to click on it, and then I get into this rabbit hole.
Well, I was going to show you, I got a confession to make. I love the comments. Like, the comments are like my absolute favorite thing of all this stuff. Like, whenever you go on to, Aaron Carter, and you're like, why the hell do I give a shit about Aaron Carter? And then, wow, they must have just posted this article, or is it just lagging or something? No, like the comment section, is like the best. It is the humanity
But it has
on
no
full display.
value.
It's no value other than just total garbage, of people that just are commenting on what I don't even know. Like, I mean, it's just hilarious.
It's like watching UFC fights, It's like you're
Right.
watching social media fights.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
people
Yeah,
just
it's
juking
a
each other
spectator
out
sport. I
in
know.
the comments.
Sport, man. Like, I mean, it's a spectator sport, and I definitely, no, you know what? Like, all right, I think my final thoughts in this whole discussion is like, if it's off purpose, stop it. Like, I mean, like literally, just cut it out of your life if you can, like the best you possibly can. Like, if it does not bring you value that is aligning toward wherever you want to go in your
Well,
life,
that's what I'm saying.
just
To me
stop it,
is
because
to me it is
otherwise
that
it's taking
you
away
don't
your
have
life.
you don't have to do any of that. The thing is, once you find what you want to do, the other things start to fall off automatically.
Agreed. Yeah.
So that's the thing is, if that's why I noticed that if somebody doesn't have a identity of their own, who they want to be and what kind of person they want to be, then they are consumed by whatever it is convenient, which is social media. If you have, let's say you want to be a different person, like, hey, I want to be a cook, right? Let's say I want to be a cook. So what do you think I'll be watching?
Cooking shows.
Cooking channels, right?
Yeah.
And that's good, but I'm not watching all these duking people talking about Kim Kardashians or Aaron Carter. I don't know who these people are. Honestly, I don't. But I'm saying, let's say you want to
You
cook.
don't know who Nick Carter is? You know who Nick Carter is? The Backstreet Boy,
No,
Nick Carter?
no.
You know who the Backstreet Boys are, right?
I heard of them.
Oh God! All right, never mind. Just move on. Move down the road.
I mean, you gotta have to give me something really, really famous.
Thank God this is not a pop culture podcast with Chris and True, because it would be the worst conversations every night.
Who's that?
We should do a spinoff of pop culture with Chris and True, and it's like,
What? I mean, we could do one day, but it's probably gonna be shorter because whatever I say is completely wrong.
What are you talking about? Yeah, like.
Well, I know Britney Spears.
Yeah, right.
I think it's these kind of like Britney Spears. Like, I have no choice but to I don't know. She's just that famous, right? I mean, not only in the music but in the media. Like it was on the local news.
Yeah,
right. So it's not like you can hide in the middle of nowhere, but you can still get information on her. People will tell you about it. Your family member will tell you about it. So it's not like you can escape it. Your sister will tell you about it. Your wife will tell you about it. Your cousin, everybody's telling you about it. Say, okay, what do you want to do about it? It's like, my wife told me about, how she buys her husband or whatever expensive gifts and all this. And well, who the hell is that? And then, they start looking and then she showed me the videos and blah, blah. But that's the thing is, some people you just cannot avoid because, it's completely like blanketed you.
Luckily, this is your magical learning. I'm talking about values and purpose, not Chris and True talking about pop culture. I think we'll stick to our lane, But
yeah, we stick to things we like to do. It has value for us, and so for me, it's like. But that's what I'm saying is the thing you can do is that as long as you find something that you can anchor to, the other thing that doesn't matter will fall off automatically. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to say, well, I need to wean off this. I want to cut off this or whatever. I think if you do that, you're torturing yourself. And so similarly, what I have found is that a lot of time when we do these habits, right, we trick ourselves into doing something. If you trick yourself into do something, it doesn't last. You can say, well, I tricked myself into exercise and eating right. It doesn't last.
Right.
If you can really understand why you're doing it and you accept and believe it, then it will work. The high probability it will work for you. Right. And I think that's the thing. It's like I say, there are certain things that I'm very good at and it's so easy for me to do. And there's certain things that I still struggle with is because I still don't understand completely or I don't really believe completely. And so I'm still struggling with because, if I know that, hey, if you offer me a cup of coffee, right, and you say, hey, there's no harm in it, right? I don't know that and I don't truly believe that, right? So I believe you. But if I know that for me, it's harmful for me and I have these side effects of having it, then I know, say, regardless of what you say, I'm not going to change my mind. So I will never just drink coffee. They say, yeah, you may be right. So I start doing it. And then, next thing you know, you down a bunch of them. Same thing with poker, right? Hey, I'm going to sit there for 5 minutes and put on this a few games, or I put on $200, and that's all I got. I mean, next thing you know, you're there
Yeah.
till 4 a.m.
Yeah. If I'm lucky, if it's only 4 a.m. If that's the case,
Right.
it's probably more like, they're dragging me out at 7 a.m. or something like that when I gotta like go to work at like 9.
No, you gotta go work at 9. They drag you out at 9:15.
Right.
You have a real problem.
Exactly. So, question we can leave everybody for tonight, though, is are you letting others waste your purpose? And if so, what do you want to do about it? I agree with you, by the way. I think the compound effect of continuing to go down the path of what you like to do and your purpose and values, like naturally starts to, I mean,
Because you don't have time for the other stuff. I mean, like I say, if you
right.
say, well, I want to do these things in the morning, right? Then it just fills it up. There's nothing
Yeah,
else in it. I mean, it's like, well, even if I want
I don't
to,
have time. I gotta get to work.
I forgot about it, and then
Right.
and next thing I know, it's like, okay, it's already that's this time and this time, and I have to do this, I have to do that. This is what I have scheduled for.
Right.
Then that's it. I say I have a garden to take care of. So in the morning, yeah, I have to go out there and I gotta water the plants, and I gotta go, get my kids to school or whatever. I mean, I don't care if you text me during those times. There's nothing I
Right.
can do for you
Yeah.
because I had my routine. I'm doing it, and until I get to a break where I say, yeah, I have some time, I can do. So those times I
Right.
can try to answer your text, your emails, or whatever. And sometimes I don't have that minute because I'm telling you to go take a shower or whatever. Then
Right.
I don't. And so the thing is, when you do the things that you want to do and you know what kind of person you want to do, then it's going to occupy your time. Just for example, I love to cook, right? So that means that I'm like looking at like HEB and all these grocery for like weekly ads, and
Right.
and it's okay. I want to make this, and then okay, so I probably like go on to some articles about tricks and trade or whatever. You're completely inside of that cooking arena. You're not go out there and say, "Oh, what the hell is Britney Spears doing today?" Or whoever Aaron Carter is doing today. I don't fucking care because I'm looking for ingredients for my next creation. So
Right.
if you are a craftsman, let's say, and I also like to do woodworking, right? I have so many of these hobbies that if I have time, I would probably do them.
Right.
If I have to without money, I probably just do them. So I probably just go and start to draw some stuff out and go to Home Depot. And I spent hours at Home Depot just looking at stuff. For me, it's like I probably like no Home Depot. If somebody would just stop me and ask me where things are, I'd probably say, hey, it's over there, this there, this there. I've been there so much. That's what I'm saying is when something occupies you and you don't have time for the other stuff. So it just completely naturally falls off.
I couldn't agree more. I feel like that's a good place to stop if you're cool with it for the night.
Yep.
I need to go. Luca's still recovering from his cold, and I need to go to bed because I feel like shit. But we endure and we do the stuff that we love to do. So thanks for joining, everyone, and we will see you all
tomorrow night. See ya.